Welcome to Hero Villains. Who do you think would win in a deadly battle between Trigon and Nyx? Trigon, the lord of the multiversal hell, was born from sin, raised by despair, and fueled by the rage of countless worlds. His eyes burn red like a dying sun, and every word he speaks is a sentence that scorches the soul. Nyx, the ancient goddess of the night, was born when the universe was still without light. Her darkness doesn't just conceal, it devours all that exists. Trigon rules through fire and fear, while Nyx commands the stillness and mystery of eternal night. He can wipe out entire galaxies with a single gesture, while she can extinguish the light of the gods with just one breath. When the fire of hell meets the primal night, the entire universe seems to hold its breath, waiting for the final judgment. Before we dive into the analysis, make sure to hit that subscribe button and don't forget to turn on notifications by clicking the bell icon. Thank you so much for your support. Trigon is a powerful, ruthless, and cunning demon born from the union between a woman of a mystical cult and the dark deity they worshipped. The result of that union was a child filled with pure evil energy rejected by the people of Azarath and seen as the embodiment of corruption itself. From the moment he was born, Trigon proved his cruelty by slaughtering everyone around him, including his own mother. At just 6 years old, he destroyed an entire planet, and by the age of 30, his power had spread across millions of worlds within his own dimension, where he declared himself the supreme lord of darkness. Arella, a woman consumed by pain and despair, sought refuge in the Church of Blood, a cult that worshipped dark forces, hoping to end her suffering. During a summoning ritual, Trigon appeared before her in the form of a handsome and charming man, hiding his true demonic nature. He married Arella, made her pregnant, and abandoned her once he got what he wanted. In her hopelessness, Arella tried to take her own life, but was rescued by the people of Azarath. There, in that sacred place, she gave birth to Raven, the child of Trigon. Raven was raised under strict control, taught to suppress her emotions to keep the demonic power within her from awakening. Trigon, the multiversal destroyer, became a constant threat to the Teen Titan. The evil energy within him spreads endlessly, and every one of his actions brings fear and destruction. When his power reached its peak, Trigon turned his eyes toward Raven's universe, driven by an ambition to conquer everything that exists. He is not just a powerful villain, but one so cruel that even the universe trembles whenever his name is spoken. Trigon is not only a being of brutality, but also a living testament to the consequences of limitless ambition. His strength is a fusion of mystical energy, dark magic, and cunning intelligence, making him one of the most dangerous enemies the Teen Titans have ever faced. He doesn't just want to destroy, he wants to prove that all hope is meaningless before the eternal darkness he carries. Trigon once annihilated an entire planet with nothing but a deadly glance, a power known as the Death Stare. By the time he reached 30, he had expanded his dominion, conquering his entire dimension and becoming the absolute ruler of the chaotic world he himself created. Trigon's power goes far beyond the boundaries of dimensions. He has conquered countless universes, destroyed supreme gods, and worn their skin as trophies of absolute victory. The Monitor once stated that Trigon's power rivals that of the Spectre, the embodiment of God's wrath. Even when facing legendary beings like the Phantom Stranger or even the Presence itself, Trigon never showed fear, believing himself to be the incarnation of eternal destruction, existing beyond the very concept of divinity. He once annihilated the entire Justice League, shattered the barriers between realities, and absorbed the souls of whole universes, turning their essence into an endless source of power. During the chaos of Crisis on Infinite Earths, when the demon from the 5th dimension, Mr. MXYZPTL, temporarily stripped the Spectre of Jim Corrigan's influence, a massive battle among supernatural forces erupted. Yet, even in his weakened state, Trigon was still strong enough to stand toe-to-toe with high-level entities like Mr. MXYZPCTLK, proving that he is the embodiment of immeasurable power, a force of pure evil capable of consuming all existence. Trigon absorbed all the dark energy within the heart of the universe, carrying the darkness of countless galaxies upon his shoulders. That immense power allows him to control matter, bend energy at will, manipulate minds, move objects with his thoughts, and even rewrite reality itself. Among cosmic beings, Trigon is seen as a divine storm, sin and power fused into one, making him the ultimate ruler of chaos. His existence is often compared to Dormammu, the Lord of the Dark Dimension. Both are beings of absolute power within their own realms. If they were ever to clash, the outcome would depend on where the battle takes place, because within their home dimensions, both are supreme. Through his ability to manipulate reality, Trigon can create complex illusions that even the wisest minds cannot distinguish from truth. He once claimed to have existed since the dawn of creation, meaning he has lived for over 13 billion years and remains at the peak of his power. His immortality does not come from magic, but from the very fabric of the universe itself, which shaped him as an undying symbol of evil. Trigon's body is nearly invulnerable. He is completely unaffected by the attacks of Superboy or Wonder Girl and immune to Bunker's energy constructs. Superboy once described hitting Trigon as being like trying to destroy a mountain with a teaspoon. However, there was one rare moment when his seemingly indestructible skin was pierced when Red Robin used a glider equipped with a specially designed blade sharp enough to cut through his body. Trigon can also alter his appearance at will, disguising himself in human form whenever he chooses. He can also create massive demonic hands from his palms to extend his reach. Trigon can possess anyone he deems useful to his schemes. He has controlled hundreds of people, including some of the strongest champions. During his battle with the Teen Titans, he managed to take control of most of their members. He can unleash intense flames, either spewing them from his mouth or summoning them from the ground below. Trigon's body radiates an overwhelming heat. Using his dark magic, he can unleash a devastating spell known as Hellfire, a magical attack that once weakened Swamp Thing. He can also use his magic to warp reality itself, reshaping Earth in his own image. Trigon is considered one of the most powerful dark forces in existence. Compared to Darkseid, Trigon represents something entirely different. Darkseid seeks to dominate and impose order upon the universe, while Trigon exists to consume and reshape all of reality according to his will. If Darkseid stands for control and order within darkness, then Trigon is the primordial storm where all rules are torn apart and reborn in chaos. Even though Darkseid embodies immense power in a defined form, he is still only a fragment of a much greater darkness where Trigon stands as the very soul at its center. Trigon is the core essence of the Great Darkness, purer and more powerful than any other manifestation. Compared to Necron, the Lord of Death, or Neron, the manipulator of souls, Trigon is not bound by a single aspect. He is the convergence of all things death, sin, chaos, and destruction. Many supernatural entities such as Darkseid, the Empty Hand, Doomsday, and Eclipso each represent pieces of the darkness, but Trigon is closer than any of them to its true primal nature. He is the first breath of sin, the black tide that smothers light, and the ultimate boundary that even gods fear to cross. Trigon is seen as the one being capable of shaking the very walls of existence itself, turning reality into a tool for his eternal darkness. I truly hope you'll subscribe to the channel. It would help us a lot, and you are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. Nyx is the pure embodiment of darkness, born from Chaos and Tartarus, the two primordial beings that shaped the universe. Her birth marked the moment when light had yet to exist, and everything was still an endless void of night. Nyx reigns in Tartarus, within the Mansion of Night, where she hides during the day and only emerges when nightfall. She united with her brother Erebus, the god of darkness and mist, giving birth to many supernatural beings, including Hemera, the goddess of day. The relationship between Nyx and Hemera symbolizes the eternal cycle of night and day. When Hemera leaves Tartarus, Nyx returns, creating an unending rhythm of time and light. Nyx, Hemera, Aether, and the stars were loyal companions of Uranos, the god of the sky. But their peace was shattered when light began to spread, bringing the rise of Zeus and the Olympian gods. In that moment, Nyx's darkness was challenged by the light of these new deities, setting off a clash between two opposing forces. Yet Nyx never bowed down. Her power was said to rival that of Odin and Zeus, the ultimate symbols of divine might in their respective pantheons. Nyx is not just the goddess of night, she is the embodiment of endings. With a single gesture, she can extinguish the light of all creation, bringing forth absolute silence. Her power transcends time, space, and even the layers of reality themselves. When Nyx moves, she can shake the entire multiverse, threatening even the omniverse, the realm where countless universes and abstract concepts of existence converge. Nyx has faced some of the greatest warriors of all time. She easily overpowered Wanda, Maximoff, and Hercules, two icons of magic and strength. restraint. In her wrath, Nyx and her children slaughtered the gods of Olympus, erasing all light from what was once the peak of divine power. Even Zeus, the ruler of thunder, trembled before her might. Nyx is more than a goddess. She is the origin of divinity itself. She is both the beginning and the end of all things. When Nyx appears, the universe falls silent, and every light, no matter how brilliant, surrenders before the endless night she brings. Long before Percy and Annabeth ever encountered Nyx, her name was already a haunting presence that echoed throughout Tartarus. Wandering souls, ancient gods, and even titans and giants avoided speaking her true name. They called her simply Night, as an act of both fear and reverence. During their journey through Tartarus, Percy and Annabeth were forced to approach Nyx's domain to retrieve the death mist from Aklis, a challenge few dared to face. Nyx, ever-changing and unpredictable, betrayed them even after they temporarily defeated her in a tense and dangerous confrontation. But the two had ventured too deep into the realm of darkness, where Nyx's power was unmatched. The goddess of night unleashed her full fury, and it seemed impossible for them to survive. Yet, with remarkable wit and quick thinking, Annabeth turned the tables by using Nyx's own words against her. She cleverly made Nyx doubt herself, pretending that they were merely sightseeing in Tartarus and that the goddess wasn't even on their list of important stops. Those words pierced straight into the goddess's pride like an invisible blade. Insulted and enraged, Nyx flew into a fury and summoned her children, embodiments of terror and chaos among them. Geras, Eris, and many lesser gods and monsters, all radiating an overwhelming, suffocating presence. Her anger made Tartarus tremble. While her children argued over who best represented pure horror, Percy and Annabeth seized the rare chance to escape. They pretended to agree to take a picture with Nyx's favorite child, but it was only a ruse. When the darkness grew so thick that even Nyx was blinded by her own shadow, the two used that moment to slip past her and dash toward the mansion of night, which led to the doors of death. In a world where light could not exist, Percy and Annabeth triumphed not through strength, but through wit and determination, standing against the very embodiment of primordial darkness. Nyx later developed an obsession with Nico D'Angelo, trying to make him accept his own darkness and remain in Tartarus. She imprisoned the Titan Bob and attempted to force him to revert to his old self, Iapetus. However, Nyx was a perfectionist who seemed incapable of understanding the concept of change. She constantly tormented Bob for refusing to return to his brutal Titan nature as Iapetus, and tried to convince Nico that the underworld was his true home, reassuring herself that she was perfect because she never changed. Because Nyx knew only pain and suffering, she was unable to cross the river Acheron, which physically harmed her. Despite everything she had done, Nico still felt pity for her. He told Will Solace that he understood the temptation of always holding on to the darkness. Nico believed that was how Nyx kept herself under control. She was born from chaos and Tartarus, and her entire existence was made of darkness, pain, and death. Nyx holds an intriguing place in the cosmic hierarchy. She is not the current ruler of the universe, but she once was. In Orphism, there are 6 cosmic rulers in succession, beginning with Phanes and ending with Dionysus. Zeus is the 5th and current ruler, and Nyx was the 2nd. She governed the universe when it was still young and peacefully abdicated her throne to Uranus, passing the torch to him just as Phanes had done for her. Only Kronos and Zeus seized their power by force. Nyx nurtured and raised many gods, including Kronos himself. When Zeus became the ruler of the universe, he sought out Nyx to ask for her wisdom on how to rule, and she taught him how to bring order and balance to the cosmos. The conflict began when 2 universes collided, tearing open a massive rift where Nyx's night spilled into the realms ruled by Trigon. This invasion was more than the merging of 2 worlds. It was a clash between 2 primordial forces, each carrying an essence that opposed the other completely. Trigon summoned his legion of demons, turning the sky into a blazing sea of crimson fire, while Nyx raised her hands and shattered the stars, dissolving them into endless darkness. Light collapsed, and the heavens themselves seemed to be swallowed by an infinite abyss. As the 2 beings faced each other, reality around them began to fall apart. Time stopped in the suffocating breath of the cosmos, light was strangled, and sound was swallowed by silence. Trigon laughed, declaring himself the destroyer of all dimensions. Nyx smiled in return, her voice echoing from the depths of the void, telling him he was only struggling within the very darkness she had created. Trigon unleashed a storm of infernal energy, each strike tearing through space and shaking the galaxies. Nyx answered with the power of the void, extinguishing every source of light, even the flames of hell he had conjured. Every soul around Trigon turned to dust, leaving him with nothing left to consume. Waves of energy from both sides collided, crushing thousands of dimensions and dissolving the boundaries of the universe. The battle ascended to a divine scale, beyond the limits of all comprehension. In his fury, Trigon tried to absorb Nyx's darkness and turn it into his own power, but he made a fatal mistake. Instead of controlling her, he consumed a fragment of the eternal night itself, trapping himself within an invisible web of chaos. As he screamed, Nyx approached not with rage, but with the cold stillness of absolute darkness. Trigon poured every last ounce of power into his final transformation, taking on his primal form where hellfire and shadow became one. Their clash created a cosmic rupture that devoured all light, snuffing out the surrounding galaxies like candles extinguished in the night. When the storm of energy faded, only silence remained. Nyx stood in the void, her eyes glowing like two dead stars. Trigon still existed, but he was imprisoned in the deepest layer of night, where no soul remained for him to consume and no power could ever escape. Only the silence of eternity endured, where light had been completely swallowed by darkness. The goddess of night had triumphed. I hope you enjoyed this battle. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Follow me if you liked it. That's the video for today. Thank you so much.